What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve Natto. I want to thank you all for stopping by the video today. And for today's video, as you can see, we have a really good shoe in an awesome colorway that I'm really excited to take a look at today. So the Air Force One React as a silhouette is a newer silhouette for this year that I really like. I already reviewed the more kind of generic pair in white, black, and red that I think is a great Air Force One. But this one right here is the brand new color that actually dropped back on May 8th. So last week on Friday for a retail price of 120 bucks. And this is the Nike Air Force One Low React White Ice. So this is a really cool colorway. This has got some crazy stuff included on it. It's actually a quick strike colorway that did come in a premium box with some premium materials and some really cool designs that when I first saw pictures of these, I knew I needed to pick them up because the Air Force One React is such a good model and this colorway is just crazy. I think it's going to be one of the best shoes for the summer, like I mentioned, and I think it's a really great one altogether. So I'm really excited to dive in, show you guys the sneaker both up close and on feet like we always do here, and there is plenty to cover. So as you guys know, the Air Force One is a classic timeless silhouette. The just generic all-white pair retails at 90 bucks. It's a great shoe that I actually did kind of a styling video for not too long ago. And like I mentioned, this one does come in at $120. So a little bit of a higher price point, but I think it's totally worth it for the React kind of outsole and midsole included here, and it's just such a comfortable shoe. So we'll get more into it and explain my thoughts and opinions throughout the video here. So stay tuned. We have a really great one lined up today on an awesome pair of sneakers. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel here. I post videos like this all the time, showcasing all the best new pickups that I get here on YouTube. So I want to thank you again one final time for joining me today. And without saying any more, let's just jump into the video on these Nike Air Force One Low React White Ice.
And here we are up close with the sneakers, this Nike Air Force One Low React White Ice. So before we dive into the shoes themselves, I do want to show you this premium box that I mentioned here. It's a really nice quality kind of pull out box here. And on the front, we got the size tag where it says Air Force One React QS for Quick Strike in white, light bone, and sail for that retail price of $120. And on the box itself, it does just have a subtle Nike branding on the front, and it actually does say Force on the top for Air Force One, which is pretty cool. But it's just a nice premium box because the other Air Force One Low Reacts did just come in a generic Air Force One box. So this was cool to see at no extra retail price point, 120 bucks. The other ones do also retail for that same price. But onto the sneakers here, as you can see, it's a really cool shoe that gets better as you take a closer look at it. So if you are unfamiliar with this shoe, there's some really interesting points of it that I really like. But primarily from the lateral side, you can see it's basically just white, gray, and icy blue for that midsole and outsole. So if we start down here, you got that crazy icy sole, you got Air written on the side, you got Nike React written on the little white piece right there. But it's just a classic Air Force One outsole in that icy blue color. And then as you move on to the upper, you have this pattern material on the back with this gray overlaid swoosh, kind of that giant design. You got this gray panel running up the middle, up to the eyelets of the laces. And then around the toe box, there's this crazy kind of suede, really premium material right around on the mudguard. So that's really cool, and you gotta look up close to actually kind of notice it, but it's really nice checking it out in person. And then the laces here are just white, and they do have reflective 3M kind of dots throughout, so you can check them out with the 3M. And that's actually what I'll show you guys now real quick. So I've turned on the flash, and as you can see, that giant Nike swoosh is 3M reflective, all the little dots on the laces as well. And then if we move to the lateral side, you can see the medial side, excuse me, the swoosh and the Dim 6 and the Nike logo on the back are also 3M reflective. So that's really cool. I think it's a great addition to this shoe. And now onto the front view. This is where some of the really cool parts come in. So again, if we start down at the bottom, you can see that icy blue outsole, the suede at the top of the toe, and then the toe box here with that same material on the lateral side, the laces running all the way up. And then we hit the crazy parts here with this holographic material. So if we keep this here and the camera oriented as it is, you can see it says Nike React on the tongue, and then it's got a Nike swoosh on this little lace part in the middle here. But as we move around and move the shoe, we'll do that. You can see it changes to say Nike Air, Nike React, Nike Air, Nike React. And then on the actual lace part here, we got the Nike swoosh and the word Nike written on the side too. So it's holographic. As you kind of move around, it changes. And I think that's crazy. That's a really cool design to see here. It's the same on both sneakers, as you can see, you know, Nike Air. It actually says Nike Air, Air Force One, the regular tag, and then Nike React. So I love that. I think that's a really cool design aspect. Now onto the medial side again, like I mentioned, it's pretty much the same here. You got that giant swoosh, which is 3M reflective, the little Dim 6 logo on the back for that type of collection. It's a new kind of array of sneakers that they put out. So the other Air Force One Low Reacts that I checked out did have that same branding. And then of course you can see that blue icy sole and a little bit more of that white plastic hit wrapping around the back heel. But now actually onto the back heel itself. This is the really crazy part. I think the part that most people saw if you're familiar with this shoe. As you can see with me moving it around, you can see the back heel actually changes from saying Air, the letters A, I, and R, to React. So it's again that holographic design. As you kind of move around and look at different angles on the shoe, it changes. So it can get really dark, it can get kind of subtle, but you can see it changes from Air to React. So I think that's crazy. I love that, and I think that's a really cool touch. And now moving overhead, I've turned the flashback on here to take a look inside the shoes. On the insole, you can see it's sort of a red-orange kind of insole color where it says Nike React in white, but you can see the patterning on it. It's really nice. It's that really comfortable React material for that insole. Very, very comfortable. White on the inner liner, and then on the inside size tag there, we can get a shot. There is the style code, numbers, and information for this pair of Nike React Air Force One Lows. And now lastly here is the outsole, and you can see it's all that icy blue color that I mentioned before, but subtly kind of beyond that, you can see that orange kind of red color that is the insole color that I just showed you with the Nike React material. So it is a little see-through and you can see that, but the rest of it is going to be that icy blue color. But now here, since we have finally wrapped up taking an up-close and in-depth look at the White Ice Air Force One Low React, it's time to get these laced up, and I'll show you guys what they look like on feet.
And now there we have it for the Nike Air Force One Low React White Ice on feet. So like I said earlier, I think this is a really, really good shoe. This colorway is awesome. The detailing and designing and everything about it is so cool to see. The premium box, the premium materials, the holographic kind of front and back on the shoe is just so cool. I think Nike knocked it out of the park. And I think it's a really, really great shoe. Not to mention, I love the Nike Air Force 1 Low React silhouette as well. So I think it's a great shoe all around. But now if we get into specifics on the sneaker here, I think this shoe does basically fit true to size. If anything, you could go down a half size, and that Air Force 1s do fit slightly big. You know, it fits the same as any other Air Force 1, so I will say that just go with your regular Air Force 1 sizing. Some people go true to size. I typically like to go down a half size, but either one should work. In terms of comfort, I think it's a really comfortable shoe. Obviously, that Nike React on the inside is very, very nice. If you've worn any Nike React product, you know what I'm talking about. And Air Force 1s are great as it is, but adding that insole is just so much nicer, so I'm a really big fan. So overall now, if I had to give you guys my final rating and opinion on this shoe, I'm going to go a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's really, really good. I think it's an awesome shoe all around. And I just think it's cool at the end of the day too. I think Nike did a great job. And 100%, I think this is the Air Force 1 that you need for the summer if you're in the market for a new pair. Don't worry about the all-white pair of just generic Air Force 1s. The other Air Force 1 Reacts are good too, but this one in particular is just so good. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, but I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below as well. I want to thank you one final time for stopping by the video, and be sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed to the channel yet. I do post content like this almost every single day, so I'm glad you guys stopped by today, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. But thanks again, and I'll catch you guys real soon on the next video.